What if a single voice could transform everything? What if one message, repeated with intention, could reconstruct your discipline, silence your doubts, sharpen your clarity, and forge the mindset of a relentless achiever? What if the only barrier between who you are and who you're destined to become is the power of repetition? Here's the truth. This video has the potential to change your life, but only if you commit to hearing it more than once. This isn't background noise. It's not entertainment. This is mental reconditioning. It's crafted to be your daily ignition, played first thing in the morning when your subconscious is at its most impressionable, when your mental gates are wide open and ready to receive direction. In those first few moments of the day, your mind is like fresh cement. Whatever you imprint will shape your path. That's how autosuggestion works. It isn't about hype. It's not about willpower. It's about intentional, emotional repetition. It's about feeding your brain a new identity, thought by thought, day by day. This method isn't new. It's the blueprint used by the most unshakable minds in history. Henry Ford didn't just build cars, he built belief systems. He repeated them until they ran deeper than fear. He said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times, not because he enjoyed failing, but because in his mind he'd already succeeded. He saw the light long before the world did. Andrew Carnegie demanded mental clarity from his people, not just productivity. He wanted thinkers, leaders who studied their minds with the same rigor an engineer studies blueprints, with precision, with purpose, with intent. That's what you're doing here. You're not just watching a video, you're installing a new operating system. This is your mental armor, your defense against distraction, your offense against fear, your shield against the echo of who you used to be. If you're truly ready to become someone who doesn't flinch, someone who acts with certainty and lives with intent, then this must be your daily ritual, not once, not occasionally, daily. Because the future you're creating isn't built on hype, it's built on habit, and this habit reshapes everything. Your mind is programmable by design or by default, and right here is where that design begins. So let's rewire it line by line until the outdated version of you no longer fits inside the future you're constructing. This isn't inspiration, it's a formula, and we'll repeat it until your mind surrenders to your new reality. Today is not yesterday. It's a restart, a reprogramming, and it begins now. Listen closely, because what you absorb in these next few minutes will echo through every choice you make, every room you enter, and every target you aim for. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not behind. You've simply been conditioned to second-guess yourself, to dim your light, to seek permission. That ends today. You are a builder, a creator, a finisher. You wake up with purpose. You move with clarity. And today, your mind takes its instructions from you, not your emotions. This is your mental rewrite. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are not your circumstances. You are what you repeatedly choose to become. So say this with me now, not softly, not halfway, but with conviction. I do not negotiate with weakness. I do not wait for motivation. I lead my mind. I lead my mission. I lead my life. Every man you admire, every legend who reshaped the world, they woke up to the same inner war, fear, doubt, distraction, but they trained their minds like warriors. They fed belief like it was oxygen, and they did it every single day. Charles M. Schwab didn't become a titan because he was the smartest. He rose because he had direction, because he knew who he was. His presence, his self-command made people follow even when he said nothing. He didn't consult feelings. He followed standards. That's what you're doing now. Defining your tone, taking command. Crafting identity by intention, not by accident. Say it again. I know who I am. I know what I'm building. I know what matters today, and I execute with precision. There is no room for chaos, no time for distraction. You're not logging into the world, you're logging into your mission. Understand this. Most people will open their eyes and scroll. Scroll away their energy, scroll away their clarity, scroll away their discipline, but not you. You locked in the moment your eyes opened. This is your reminder, your daily software update. The code that overrides hesitation and activates the next version of you. Keep going, because you are not average. You were just trained to think small. That training is done. Now you train like a professional. You move with precision. You act with purpose. No more drifting. No more, let's see how I feel. No more waiting for confidence. Confidence is not a feeling. It's a consequence. It's earned by repetition. So say it again, louder. I follow through. I don't flinch. I don't fold. I finish what I start. When doubt whispers, you override it. When motivation fades, you don't. When the voice says, take it easy, you work harder. You don't need hype. You don't need a crowd. You need this every morning, because this isn't just motivation. This is your mental blueprint. The blueprint that sharpens clarity while others drown in confusion. The blueprint that breeds discipline while others are distracted. The one you listen to daily. Autosuggestion isn't theory, it's science. Emotion plus repetition, identity. This is how legacies are built, not by luck, by command, not by waiting, by deciding. So decide now. Who are you today? Not based on mood, not based on convenience, based on your standards. From this moment forward, your energy is different. Your words are sharper, your actions are aligned. You're no longer thinking like the old version of you. You're becoming your true self, decision by decision. So move differently today, speak differently today, execute differently today. Because this isn't just another pep talk. This is your identity installer. This is the voice that reprograms you. And when you return tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, the world won't even recognize the man you used to be. You'll walk like a builder, like a warrior, like a man who forged his mindset before the world had the chance to shape it. But there's one question most people never ask when they try to change their life. What exactly do I install in my mind? It's not just about thinking positive. It's about wiring in the right attributes, the rare ones that leave a legacy. Study every outlier, every titan, and you'll find the same code. Different industries, same foundation. Let's speak those traits into existence. Not just talk about them, declare them. Say them like you're burning down your limits and rebuilding from the ground up. Trait 1, relentless self-belief. Henry Ford wasn't the best engineer. He wasn't the richest. But he had belief that bulldozed obstacles. He once said, obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. Say this, I believe when no one else does. I don't wait for permission. I move because I've already decided. Trait 2, definite purpose. Carnegie called it the root of all achievement. If you hesitated, you were out. He didn't want dabblers. He wanted obsessed men. Say it. I know exactly what I'm building. I don't drift. I don't dabble. My goals are not optional. They're orders. Trait 3, emotional control. Charles Schwab once said, a man can succeed at almost anything fueled by enthusiasm, but without control, enthusiasm becomes chaos. It wasn't just energy that made Schwab exceptional. It was presence. He didn't merely walk into a room. He commanded it. He led others because he had already mastered the art of leading himself. Say it now. I am the kind of person who does, not flinch. I respond with calm. I act with clarity. I move with purpose. I embody leadership. Quality 4. Obsession through repetition. Every single morning, Thomas Edison attacked his work like a man possessed. He didn't merely try, he fixated. 10,000 failed attempts didn't defeat him because he wasn't repeating tasks. He was repeating purpose. Say it. I am the kind of person who shows up with fire. Repetition is my edge. Repetition is my power. I repeat greatness until it defines me. Quality. 5. Execution above excuses. Legends never waited for the right time. They weren't ruled by moods or fear. Edison kept inventing. Ford kept delivering. Carnegie didn't ask how you felt. He asked what you produced. True greatness isn't moved by comfort. Say it now. I'm the kind of person who executes regardless of emotion. I don't need permission. I create momentum with movement. I don't speak of action. I become it. Quality 6. Faith through action. Belief isn't a wish, it's a verb. Autosuggestion is just a whisper without the roar of action. To believe without movement is to lie to yourself. Real faith walks, acts, builds. Say it, I am the kind of person who proves belief with behavior. I am not passive, I am intentional. My daily habits verify my vision. Quality 7. Endurance under fire. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Schwab, they were doubted, betrayed, rejected, but they endured. Why? Because their minds were trained for the storm. And yours can be too. Say this, I am the kind of person who grows under pressure. Resistance makes me rise. Discomfort is not my enemy, it's my evolution. Quality 8. Ruthless focus. Focus isn't just productivity, it's identity. Lose focus, and you lose yourself. That's why Carnegie eliminated noise, Ford simplified systems, Schwab filtered through. Intention. Say it. I'm the kind of person who protects my attention. I don't chase distractions. I lock in. My time is sacred. My focus is fierce. Quality 9. Radical ownership. No one is coming to save you. The builders of history never waited. For validation, they claimed their mission publicly and privately. Say it loud. I am the kind of person who takes full responsibility. If it's mine, I own it. If it's broken, I fix it. I own who I am and who I'm becoming. Quality 10. Strategic silence. While others speak, the greats build. Edison didn't shout his plans. Ford didn't post every move. Carnegie didn't explain his empire. They moved in silence and let the results roar. Say this, I am the kind of person who builds quietly. I don't explain. I don't announce. I rise, and when I do, the world notices. These are not mere affirmations. They are weapons. Repeat them until they become your code. Because every I am you declare isn't about who you were. It's about who you're becoming. Identity isn't gifted. It's forged. And the fastest way to rewrite yours is with your own voice, starting now. Not empty words, but focused declarations. Not blind belief, but emotional repetition. Because repetition is how the old programming was installed, and it's how the new you replaces it. This isn't about hype. This is engineering. Identity engineering. Say it with your chest, with your spine tall, with the fire of someone done being ordinary. I am disciplined. I'm locked in. I'm dangerous when focused. I do not flinch. I do not fold. I finish what I start. These are not desires. They are commands. Because the world doesn't yield to hesitation. It responds to conviction. Definiteness of purpose. That's the root of every empire. Your identity is not fate. It's forged. You're not meant to chase dozens of paths. You're meant to dominate one. Carnegie didn't hire the interested. He hired the obsessed, the ones who embodied their mission. You must become one of them. Say it. I am not a dabbler. I am not a maybe. I am committed. I am building something undeniable. These are your tools, not for hype, but for construction. You are laying steel inside your subconscious, turning softness into steel, emotion into conviction. The mind adapts. The mind listens. and it believes what it hears repeatedly, especially with emotion. That's not wishful thinking, that's neuroscience. That's how Edison saw the light bulb before it existed, how Ford built entire industries in his mind before they rolled. Off the line, they repeated, they declared, they acted. Now it's your turn, say it again. I rise, I finish, I build. I am not ruled by moods, I am ruled by mission. This is your new programming. And you don't say it once. You repeat it until it becomes you, until your past self no longer recognizes the person you've become. This isn't motivation. This is identity reconstruction. Your mind believes what you feed it. So feed it something. Worthy, because every I am you speak is a blueprint, not of who you were, but of who you're choosing to become. Say it one last time. For the man you are becoming, I am relentless. I am consistent. I am no longer who I was. I am who I decide to be every single day, and today I choose to rise. Quality 11. Precision in intent. Power is diluted without direction. Most people are busy but not intentional. The elite don't just act, they aim. Every move is aligned with purpose. They don't wander, they calculate. Say this: I am the kind of person who moves with intent. I don't waste steps. Every decision reflects my direction. I sharpen my vision until it slices through noise. Quality 12. Relentless self-discipline. Discipline is the gatekeeper of greatness. Without it, your goals are just wishes. The legends treated self-control as a skill, not a sacrifice. They weren't ruled by comfort. They were led by standards. Say it. I am the kind of person who does what must be done. I train my discipline daily. I don't wait to feel ready. I build strength in doing the difficult. Quality 13. Adaptability under chaos. Stability is a myth. Chaos is the default. But the rare ones, they adapt. They don't break in storms. They reshape themselves. Situations shift, markets crash, people disappoint, but their identity holds. Say this: I am the kind of person who adapts without panic. I don't resist change. I shape it. I remain fluid, focused, unshaken. Quality 14. Tactical emotion. Emotion isn't the enemy. Misused emotion is. The greats didn't suppress feeling, they channeled it. Anger became energy. Doubt became fuel. They didn't numb themselves, they harnessed themselves. Say it. I am the kind of person who directs emotion with precision. I don't drown in feeling. I use it like fire. My emotions follow me. I don't follow them. Quality 15. Strategic alliances. Greatness is not a solo mission. Every legacy was built on strong connections, not popularity, alignment. They surrounded themselves with warriors, not doubters, people who matched their pace. Say it now. I'm the kind of person who builds powerful alliances. I don't bond out of comfort. I connect with purpose. I walk with those who sharpen me. Quality 16. Relentless learning. Legends never graduate. They evolve. While others settle into comfort, they stay hungry for skill, knowledge, refinement. Even at the top, they remain students. Say this: I am the kind of person who learns aggressively. My mind is a weapon, and I sharpen it daily. Curiosity drives me. Growth is my lifestyle. Quality 17. Internal validation. The world's applause fades quickly. That's why the greats built from within. They didn't need the world to believe. They believed first. Their worth was self-issued. Their mission was self-declared. Say it. I am the kind of person who validates from within. I don't need permission to pursue. I don't chase approval. I trust my own fire. Quality 18. Command of environment. Where you live, mentally, emotionally, physically, becomes your norm. The greats mastered their environment or changed it completely. They engineered surroundings that supported their vision. Say this: I'm the kind of person who designs my environment for greatness. I eliminate what weakens me. I place myself in rooms that reflect my standards. Quality. 19. Deliberate legacy. Most people live by default. The elite live by design. Their actions are anchored in legacy. They aren't chasing attention. They're crafting impact. Say it. I am the kind of person who moves with legacy in mind. My work echoes beyond now. I build what outlives me. I live to leave a mark that cannot be erased. Quality 20. Mental independence. Freedom begins in the mind. True power is the ability to think clearly, despite noise, trends, fear, or doubt. The elite don't follow every voice. They follow their inner command. Say it loud. I am the kind of person who thinks for himself. I filter the world through wisdom. My thoughts are chosen, not inherited. I build my own mind. So you've declared your direction. You've chosen discipline. But the real question now is this. How deep does your desire go? Because all achievement, real, lasting achievement, begins with one force, a definite purpose, backed by burning desire, not a wish, not a fleeting hope, but an obsession, a white-hot internal fire that refuses to be extinguished. This isn't about being inspired. This is about being possessed by a vision so clear it haunts your sleep and ignites your mornings. That's the fuel of every empire. Napoleon Hill didn't write about casual dreams. He wrote about definiteness of purpose. He studied titans who rewrote history, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Edison, and he found the same blueprint, an unshakable aim and an unwillingness to surrender it. So ask yourself now, what is your definite purpose? Write it, speak it, burn it into your consciousness, because a man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder, adrift, vulnerable, reactive, but a man with purpose moves like a weapon. He doesn't guess, he decides, and once you decide, you no longer wait for the world to give you permission. You command results through intention. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. Clarity plus emotion plus repetition. This is your formula. Repeat it every day until your subconscious accepts it as law. But don't stop there. Desire alone isn't enough. It must be backed by faith, and not blind belief, not wishful thinking, but a deliberately constructed faith, built from evidence you create through action. You condition your belief the same way you build muscle, with repetition under resistance. Hill said, "Faith is a state of mind which may be induced by autosuggestion." That means your thoughts are not just reflections. They are commands. Every word you speak is either reinforcing your destiny or reinforcing your doubt. So control your language. Speak like a man who already owns the outcome. Speak with power, or don't speak at all. Say it now. I know where I'm going. I know who I am. My vision is not up for debate, because here's the truth. Every great man you admire saw it first. In his mind, Edison saw the light long before the filament burned. Ford drove his vision before the machine was built. Carnegie built an empire in thought before a single structure stood. That's how creation works. It begins in the unseen, and the mind is the workshop where all futures are forged. But here's what no one tells you. Once you decide to live by vision, resistance will follow. The world will test your will. Life will whisper, maybe you're not ready. Maybe it's too hard. Maybe you should settle. And that's where most stop. But not you, because you understand the power of persistence, the iron law of all transformation. Hill wrote, "There is no substitute for persistence. The person who makes persistence their watchword discovers that failure finally becomes tired and makes its departure." You hear that? Even failure gets exhausted in front of relentless will. So push, even when it's quiet, even when no one claps, even when the results delay. Because results are not the sign of success. The decision to persist is. You're not chasing applause. You're building momentum. You're stacking days, reps, habits, thoughts, until the new identity becomes non-negotiable. So repeat this: I persist until. I don't retreat, I don't pause, I don't wait for the storm to pass. I walk through it with fire in my step. This is not about talent, it's not about intelligence, it's about emotional resilience, your ability to move forward in the face of frustration. You will fail, you will doubt, but the question is, will you stay loyal to your vision? Because loyalty to your vision is loyalty to your future, and that loyalty must be expressed daily, not in bursts, but in rituals. Rituals of thought, rituals of focus, rituals of action. This is why most people drift. They have goals, but no. Rituals, they want success but live like amateurs. They react instead of design. They get inspired but never install. But you're not inspired anymore. You're trained. You've learned the language of high performers. You've chosen identity over emotion, purpose over convenience, discipline over dopamine. You no longer crave motivation. You manufacture momentum. So from this moment forward, every time you doubt, you speak. Every time you hesitate, you act. Every time you feel weak, you remember, I am not here to survive. I'm here to dominate, with clarity, with consistency, and with conviction. And as you keep going day after day, you build the rarest trait of all, self-trust. Because a man who trusts himself doesn't need validation. He doesn't need applause. He doesn't need hype. He needs silence, focus, and execution. And when the world finally sees what you've built, they'll say it happened overnight. But you'll know. You'll remember the nights you stayed the course, the mornings you rewired your mind, the decisions no one saw but changed everything. This is not motivation. This is mental architecture. You're not here to chase success. You're here to construct it from the inside out. So say this: I am the architect of my destiny. I am the commander of my thoughts. I lead, I build, I persist, and I never go back. Because once you become this version of yourself, resilient, focused, relentless, there is no return. The old version of you, irrelevant, outdated, replaced. This is your evolution. Now go install it. You've made the decision. You've built the belief. You've installed the identity. Now comes the phase most men fear: execution without applause. This is where the game changes, where desire is no longer enough, where words don't matter, only output does, because you don't get paid for thoughts. You don't get legacy points for good intentions. You don't earn respect through motivation. You earn it through execution, under pressure, without delay, in the face of resistance. This is the truth most won't accept. You are measured by what you finish, not what you start. And finishing requires a different mindset. It requires ruthless follow-through. So from this point on, the gap between your vision and your reality is not talent. It's not time. It's not luck. It's executional distance. The space between what you know and what you actually do. And closing that gap is now your job. Daily, relentlessly, because once you know who you are, the only thing left is to prove it in action, every single day. This is where most people stall. They get clarity but not closure. They collect insights but never apply them. They feel inspired but never build the systems required to sustain progress. But you're done consuming. Now you build at speed, because inspiration fades. But system scale, and your execution habits are now your architecture. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to the level of your routines. So let's get brutally clear. If your calendar doesn't reflect your vision is a fantasy. That's why we move beyond motivation into strategic domination. Your time, your energy, your environment, they all become assets, tools, weapons. You no longer wake up hoping the day will go well. You command it into form. That means no more tolerating chaos. No more pretending that distraction is harmless. No more excusing low standards because life got busy. You own the clock now. You own the space you enter. You own the man you become, hour by hour, block by block, decision by decision. This is what separates the elite from the ordinary, the commitment to move, even when it's invisible, to build in silence, to follow through when the world offers zero recognition, because legacy is not built in public, it's built in private. You are no longer working for approval. You are building something far more dangerous, self-respect. And self-respect comes from one source, doing what you said you'd do long after the mood you said it in has passed. So say this now: I don't delay. I don't drift. I don't wait. I move now. I finish now. I follow through now. This is the mindset of the builder, the operator, the high-level executor who doesn't need hype. He just needs a mission. But here's where it goes even deeper. Once you execute at a high level, you begin to experience something rare: internal command. The ability to regulate not just your behavior, but your state. This is mental sovereignty. This is emotional intelligence turned into execution power, because now you don't just manage time, you manage energy, you manage attention, you manage state. You no longer ask, do I feel like it? You ask, what state do I need to be in to dominate this? And then you enter that state at will. That's real power, the power of presence, the power of switching on at command. This is no longer theory, it's neurology. State equals access, and your state is now your tool, not your trap. So in the moments when chaos erupts, when pressure mounts and others fold, you smile, you breathe. You execute, not by accident, but because you've trained for this, because preparation is the quiet twin of domination. Every early morning you rewired your mind. Every moment you said no to comfort. Every time you repeated your code while others scrolled, you were building this moment. You don't react anymore. You respond. You don't chase emotion. You lead it. You don't just set goals. You hit them. Sharply, consistently, quietly, until results stack so high they speak for you before you enter the room. You are now operating on a different frequency, one most will never feel, a rhythm most will never match, a clarity most will never even know exists. This is the rhythm. Now you've built it. You've reprogrammed your mind. You've executed with ruthless precision. Your habits are aligned. Your actions speak louder than words. You are no longer merely a dreamer, you are a doer. But there's one final evolution in this journey, a shift from self-mastery to leadership, because once you've forged yourself into a weapon of execution, the world doesn't just need your results, it needs your influence. This is the moment when you stop building for yourself and begin building for something greater. You stop being driven by the need for validation and start being motivated by the desire to serve a higher cause. True leadership is not about being at the front. It's about creating a culture that transcends your individual effort. It's about legacy, a long-lasting impact that echoes long after you've made your exit. You've learned to lead yourself. Now it's time to learn to lead others. But leadership is not about power. It's about responsibility. It's about creating spaces where others can elevate, where others can grow, and where others can execute at their highest level. Because a true leader isn't a boss. A true leader is someone who makes the people around them better. They forge minds, not followers, and that means your actions now matter beyond you. Your legacy isn't just in the things you accomplish. It's in the lives you touch. It's in the minds you inspire. It's in the standards you uphold. The legacy of relentless excellence you pass on. A leader doesn't just execute. They cultivate excellence in others. The question now is, what kind of leader will you be? A leader by title, or a leader by results? A leader by position, or a leader by impact? Because here's the reality. Anyone can be given a title. Anyone can be appointed as a leader, but the true measure of leadership is not the position you hold, it's the legacy you build, and legacy is built by planting seeds in others, by teaching them to think for themselves, by challenging them to rise above mediocrity, to fight through resistance, and to hold themselves to a higher standard. The best leaders Think of men like Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, or Winston Churchill. They didn't lead by force. They led by vision, by purpose, and by conviction. They led by showing others what's possible when you believe in something greater than yourself. So what is the vision you're sharing? What future are you building, not just for you, but for the people you lead? Because the moment you decide to lead, you step into a role of influence, and that influence is powerful. It can shape families, teams, businesses, communities, and even nations. But here's the most crucial point of all. Leaders never stop learning. They never stop growing. They never stop questioning. A true leader knows that in order to build others, they must constantly evolve themselves. Leadership, like success, is a never-ending process. And those who choose to lead with intention, who embrace that responsibility and rise to it, become immortal. Because the world forgets titles, but it never forgets legacies. So now, as you rise, ask yourself, what do I want my legacy to be? Is it the empire I build with my own hands, or is it the empire I help others build through empowerment, guidance, and example? The real measure of your life will not be found in what you accumulate, but in what you give away. You are here not just to achieve, but to elevate, to create leaders, thinkers, and warriors who rise to the same heights and go even further. And in this process, you will create a movement, a ripple effect, a wave of transformation that will extend far beyond your own life. Legacy is built in the moments when you put others first, when you challenge them to exceed their limits, to abandon fear, and to hold themselves accountable. When you demand more from them, not because you want to be admired, but because you know they're capable. That's the mark of a true leader. You believe in others before they believe in themselves, and that belief is contagious. It spreads, it inspires, it transforms. But this isn't a leader who seeks fame. This is the leader who seeks results, who leaves a trail of accomplishments, but more importantly, a trail of transformed lives. Because greatness is not what you achieve. It's what you ignite in others. It's what you build within them that they carry forward long after you've left the stage. So let's be clear, your legacy begins now. It begins with the people around you, the ones who need your guidance, your clarity, and your example. Start today. Lead with the power of vision. Lead with the clarity of purpose. Lead with the conviction that everything you do, everything you say, and everything you teach is molding the future of those who follow you. This is your legacy, a chain of powerful minds, unstoppable warriors, and limitless thinkers, all moving toward a world shaped by your example. Say it now. I am a leader. I lead with purpose. I lead with vision. I lead with excellence, and I create leaders, not followers. You are not just building a future for yourself. You are building it for the generations who will rise because of you. And that, my friend, is the true power, the power of legacy. You think you need more time, but what you really need is a decision. Every delay reinforces the old you. Every hesitation is a quiet agreement with mediocrity. Growth doesn't ask for convenience. It demands sacrifice. While others wait for alignment, the uncommon ones create it. They don't wish for clarity. They move through the fog until it clears. Here's the truth. You're not lacking ability. You're not lacking talent. You're just out of alignment. Your habits speak one language, but your vision speaks another. And until those two become one, nothing changes. You can dream big, talk big, but if your daily standards are small, the outcome will match them. It's not about ambition anymore. It's about proof. Say this: I am no longer negotiating with weakness. I don't adjust my mission to match my mood. I align my emotions with execution. I am built to follow through. There's a difference between interest and identity. Interest fades when things get hard. Identity leans in. Interest checks the clock. Identity finishes the work. Interest posts about discipline. Identity bleeds for it in silence. You're not here to dabble, you're here to dominate. But domination doesn't begin in the world, it begins in your routine. Here's the next layer of your foundation. Your mornings are your forge. They shape the day before the world can reach you. Your routines are your rituals. They declare your standards to your subconscious. Your decisions are declarations. They prove who you are even when no one's watching. Say it now. I do not need a witness to be excellent. I do not wait for motivation to be elite. I rise with purpose. I move with precision. My habits reflect my future, not my past. Start thinking like a builder. Builders don't need hype. They need blueprints. They don't chase outcomes. They lay foundations. Every action is a brick. Every word repeated is concrete. Every day is a structure being formed. And those who build slow build forever. That's why transformation is not about momentum. It's about systems. Systems that work whether you feel ready or not. Systems that remove guesswork. Systems that protect you from the old you trying. To make a comeback, here's the real secret. The most dangerous voice isn't the one that screams failure. It's the whisper that says skip today. That whisper kills more dreams than failure ever could. So answer it. Say this out loud. Not today, not anymore. I keep my promises to myself. I don't skip, I don't slide. I stack victories until they become my default, because confidence isn't found as it's built layer by layer, and consistency is the cement. From now on, here's your framework. Anchor your identity in your behavior. If you want to be disciplined, act disciplined. If you want to be elite, move like it before you feel like it. The mind doesn't believe what's said, it believes what's shown. Build a ritual that cannot be negotiated. That means you don't start your day reacting. You begin with command. You speak your new identity before anything else speaks to you. You say it with volume, with breath, with power. I am the kind of person who finishes. I am the kind of person who creates momentum. I don't check my phone. I check in with who I've decided to become. Track alignment, not feelings. Feelings are temporary. Standards are forever. Every day ask, did I act like the person I say I am? If not, adjust. Don't spiral, just calibrate. Identity isn't perfection. It's consistency under pressure. And here's what most won't understand. When the new you starts to rise, the world around you will resist. Not because they hate you, but because your growth exposes their comfort. Let them feel it. Let your evolution disrupt their excuses. This isn't a performance, it's a declaration. You're no longer accessible to who you used to be. That version doesn't get to make decisions anymore. That voice doesn't get a vote. He had his chance, and he wasted it. Now it's your turn. Say it again. I do not return to small. I do not water down for comfort. I do not pause for permission. I press forward because I've decided this is the path of those who evolve for real. It's not loud, it's not pretty, it's brutal consistency. It's showing up when no one claps. It's moving when no one watches. It's deciding again and again, especially when the feeling is gone. Because that's how the old you dies, not in a moment, but over time. One skipped excuse at a time, one completed task at a time, one repeated sentence at a time, and eventually the old version stops knocking. He realizes this door is closed. Welcome to the new loop, not built on hype, built on habit, not built in public, built in silence, and soon the world will catch up to what you already know. You've become undeniable.